Hey Christian, how are you doing?
Hey, Adam, super fine.
Super fine. Okay.
Yes, it's Monday morning, sun is shining,
Yeah.
spring always kicking in Germany, so yes, super fine.
Yeah. Friday is the worst day and Monday is the best for us, Java developers.
Exactly. Usually when it's Monday, it's almost Friday again, so
Yeah. Time
let's see
flies.
what happens in between.
Okay. What was your first computer?
C64, actually. Um, my dad brought some along from his school back in the days, and I wished for it, and one day he brought some along and we hacked. Okay, we gamed all night, I guess, back in the
Okay.
days. So it was
So this was your like a secret, desire to have a
yes,
computer.
not secret. I was fighting for it day and
Fighting.
night.
Okay. How old
Yes,
old were you back then?
around 11, 12, something like this. So it
Okay.
was in the 80s.
Okay. And
And
why you wanted to have it? So what
yeah, because
inspired
my,
you?
my, my elder friends in village had some things already, had a joystick, could do some gaming on the C64,
Mhm.
and I want to do this at home.
What was the name of the joystick? There was a great joystick
Game Pro,
Ga-
whatever.
Game
This is
Pro.
Game Competition Pro, something like that.
No, there was better name. It was there was the joysticks, the gray ones. There was the name was great. Game Pro is too simple. I have to think about this.
Competition, whatever.
Yeah,
Competition
and
Pro.
and there were joystick with specific switches and without the switches. You remember?
Right. And you can put on auto fire mode and without
Yeah, but the
fire.
switches were the
Yes.
contacts or switches like in the keyboard.
Yes,
Micro switches. Exactly, were two
exactly.
kinds of
Exactly.
joysticks.
Those were the days. And
Yeah.
and already then I just started to thinking about how those graphics and sounds would be made and how you do your own. So this got me into not only gaming but also programming.
Okay, so what was your favorite game back then, or what was the first night? You remember the game, the first night game?
Ah, don't remember.
Okay,
I think we had some fun with Vermeer. Was a um, business kind simulation where you were growing tobacco and
okay,
other things, and you could buy art like paintings.
hmm
That was Vermeer. Knights of the Kingdom was
okay.
some simulation, not real time strategy, but something like that.
Oh,
Defender of the Crown. Yes, now it's coming. Boulder Dash.
Boulder Dash, of course.
Yes, yes, of course.
hmm
Commander Keen, but that was on the PC later.
Yeah, I had ZX Spectrum, and not all games were available on Spectrum. No, there were some
Yeah.
cool games which were only available on C64.
Yes,
Or at I had the impression that some games came later to ZX. Is it possible? Yeah,
possible.
yeah.
Yeah, when the Amiga took over,
hmm
and this is a ship I didn't take or the train, so I went straight from C64 to PC.
Yeah.
This is when my memories of Commander Keen kick in, and
Okay.
I'm using the pogo stick all the time.
I really wanted to have Amiga 500 actually. So
Yeah, but my friends had one, so that was
okay.
enough just for
So
gaming. I was into programming by then already.
when you started coding on C64?
Peaks and pokes and doing some sprites and the famous balloon from the handbook
Uh-huh.
from Commodore, where you have your 64 108 bits encoded in a byte, and then you could ping it around the screen and it would bounce off the edges. And
Okay.
this was my first program. Of course, you have to type it
hmm
letter by letter, character by character.
Basic.
Basic,
hmm
yes.
And you got the pick and poke? Because I have to admit I couldn't understand what happens.
Yeah, I had a friend back then, and we just jumped into how is it really working? What is memory? What is
Okay.
setting memory? So yes,
Okay, this is then easier. So
yeah,
I had the problem. I only had a French book. I cannot understand French, and
yeah,
the pick and poke was like mystery because I
yes,
always wondered, how people know what happens if they put the numbers. So I tried to find out, with a for loop, but it always crashed because you hit
yes,
something, and this is I couldn't understand that there are some geniuses here. They know the number and it works, right? So this was
yes.
this was my problem back
Where do you
then.
put what and not overflow some edges or underflow some buffers and
Yeah, but what you wanted, why you did the balloon, and why you wanted to code. I mean, would you like to create a game or modify the game, or what was
Yes,
the?
it was always the fascination to do something on my own, be creative, do something on my own, making the thing do what I want that thing to do. So that was the main motivation.
Okay.
And I realized very quickly that the time I spent on the computer was first only gaming,
Hmm.
but then it shifted to programming. And
Hmm.
I have the same feeling, good feeling, if I
Hmm.
achieve a new level. That's good,
Hmm.
accomplish that. But the same for programming. So when I achieve a new algorithm or solved a problem, that had the same feeling for me. So that
For me,
was
even better because you know that is useful. And game, I had the feeling afterwards like waste of time. It was
yeah,
great,
it's
but
just
yeah,
pixels, right?
yeah, and this is
When they're
nothing. I
gone.
could do
Yes.
something different. You know, I had always bad feeling I could go out or do whatever. It is always lost time.
Yeah,
And with
it depends on the game. Sometimes the feeling is so good that you really want to achieve some 4D puzzle or whatever the author
yeah,
of the
but
game wants.
whatever you achieve at the end, you just did nothing, right? So this is a problem.
Yeah, for me not. It's okay, but programming is better.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah, and this is continuous joy. You know, in game
Yes.
it is, yeah, it stops, then you have to buy a new one, and this
Yeah.
never ends. Yeah,
Are you playing any games today?
no. What happened to me is I was really fascinated by games, but I realized I didn't even try to replicate them because I knew it is mission possible. I never tried because I thought I'm too bad, so I don't even try.
Yeah.
And then I keep playing games on PC, and then I realized that all the games are basically the same. So the the ZX Spectrum games were complete different companies. It was like, it was like at the beginning of Java, there were no different frameworks, different approaches. So everything was like in a wild. It was, and I
Yeah.
really enjoyed the many options.
Yes.
And then on PC, my impression was there's like, one engine, and this is more or less like a movie.
Yes.
And then I immediately lost interest. And and
Just the
and
sequence.
now,
That's
if I'm
right.
conference, I would really like to watch with someone plays for 5 minutes, because what I really enjoy is good graphics and sound.
Yes.
But I have no desire to play by myself, actually.
Hmm.
So nothing.
Yeah.
Interestingly, so
Yeah.
I actually, and one funny story, I told it on the podcast several times. But there was a game, a really good one, first-person shooter with great graphics. I forgot the name again. And I was in a project, and the developer said, "You have really to play it." And so I had a beefy machine, and I had a graphic card,
Hmm.
and I play it, and it was like a soldier, in an alien soldier somewhere. I
Okay.
forgot the name. It was Crytek. Crytek was the company, I think, and the game was,
Ah, that's from the company from Frankfurt, right?
yeah, and the game was something with Crytek or Cryo or something like this.
Yeah.
And Crytek was the company. This is what I remember, because they said,
Yes.
the graphics are exceptional. And back then, I always been interested what you can do with a computer.
Yeah.
And the cool story is, so I wanted, to play the game as quickly as possible. And what I do, I think I still waiting for the medal of peace. So what I did is I never shoot. I just run,
Yes.
and I was
Just
able,
to yeah,
yeah, and I was able to complete the game like in 1 hour or two. And on
without
Monday, I
firing a shot, just doing zero damage. Just
zero damage, just running.
yes.
And then the
Perfect.
end, I have to shoot down the monster or something, was like
Yeah.
flying. I remember on a ship, so huge monster, and there was some scenes where you had to shoot, but there was like almost nothing.
Okay.
And they thought I'm genius, like this impossible, to complete the game in this time. And I say, I can tell you where I was, and I told them, all the stages. So and then I was a miracle. So now I did it, and since then never played again. This was 2008, I think, 2009 maybe, was it
Yeah,
Crytek? Yeah.
at least.
and and yeah, but this is good thing. So maybe if yeah, about programming, different story. And but what my fascination was graphics, sound, and the atmosphere in game. If you're there, there's a specific, like almost like a movie experience, right?
Yeah, and here's the point, which makes game programming so interesting for me, because your audience, the gamer,
Hmm.
is having expectations
Hmm.
regarding the environment,
Hmm.
the mood, the sound, and
Hmm.
all things go together. And when, especially when you're in a real time simulation, there shouldn't be any lags, any input lags, any output lags. The graphics should be smooth and fine-grained and doing purpose. And once you have a lag or something that's broken, the entire experience of the game lags, and it doesn't suits the mood. And here, every audience member will just tell you, no, your game is not good. So you have to be a really good programmer, and you have to have a really good team to make up a good game. Could be one person, could be many persons, but the game has to deliver and has to work. And this is something that really has to be accomplished when you do game programming. And so you have a very the word is not coming. Critical audience. So
but for me it was different because as the game started, there was Pentium 1, and you always had the problems to keep up with the games. There was the Pentium MMX or something like this, and I had always the newest machine, and I didn't play all the time. I program a lot, but I also used the machine for gaming, and there was always lagging or something. So if you tried to pick the highest graphics, it was never perfect. So it was always a lag. So for me, it was like for the user, I didn't mind. So okay, if there's a lag or whatever, just for me it was normal. And I remember, it was from Sierra, the company right now. They build also games like Mech Warrior or whatever. So you were almost like a walker. So I enjoyed, the atmosphere and the science fiction part. It's almost like a Star Wars, and you are inside. So this was what fascinated me.
Yeah.
And but then it stopped. Immediately stopped, and I still like games, but I have no desire to play them, which is perfect because I save time, right? So nobody's perfect, so I stopped playing.
It doesn't have to be.
Exactly.
Have fun.
Very cool. So how you actually learned coding? So basic. So
by typing things out of a book.
And you learned that this way?
Yes.
The concept for loops, but you had the friends, right? That you could ask them. Okay, this works because
we just put things to the others' faces, and we met at each other's homes and just try to show off something we did.
Very cool. Yeah. So how long you had the C64?
Can't actually remember, like
5-10 years,
3 years, 4 years, like something like this.
And then PC happened.
And then PC happened.
Which one?
Was a
86
IBM PC3, I guess.
Okay.
Was pre-268.
And they were black and white?
Really, really like 5 hertz and a turbo switch, 10 megabyte hard drive, something like that.
And I remember the color PCs had specific card with specific name, like Hector or something, right? Which was
right. What was a Hector?
Hector. It's okay, not Hector, but Hector. It was then color, and everything else was black and white. And Hector was already amazing, right?
4 colors, right?
I think so. Something like this, right?
Yeah.
And you had the Hector thing?
But I had a monochrome screen, so I couldn't see any colors.
Ah, okay.
I started with greenish, then was orange.
Bernstein, German, right?
Bernstein,
this is the ruby
amber,
one.
Amber, orange, like things. Yes.
So okay, and you kept coding on PC?
I kept coding, and I learned some C, some Pascal. Really love Object Pascal and Turbo Pascal. And
still gaming in mind.
Still gaming, writing like Turbo Cycles, a Tron clone. With another friend back then in middle school.
Did it work?
Yes, it did work. We battled a lot. 4 players on 1 keyboard. Everybody got 2 keys for left-right movement, relative movement. So
you still have the game?
Yes, it works with with Free Pascal. So if you
should put it on GitHub.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean this could be crazy popular.
We continued after studying computer science, or just before studying computer science. So when last year in school, like 69, I learned about Java.
Mm-hmm.
I was always on the edge on learning new things.
So you learned C, Turbo Pascal, and then Java.
Yes.
Okay.
Basic first, and then
and the story with C and C++ was not that interesting. So you try now to do something with gaming, or
I use it as a tool, but it didn't kick with my mind. It was
okay?
not uh, working with my flow.
Mhm.
And when I first read the first Java
But
lines,
did you implement something bigger with C++ or Basic, or just learn it? Or
yes, at university I did some plugins for a program working in the automotive industry
oh,
and
okay,
did a lot of C++
okay,
there. Yeah,
and then you like Java immediately.
immediately was first sight, first love.
So you are the
And
true Java champion, because in my case, I used Java. I like everything, but I thought somehow Java is the broken C++, because I really enjoyed the C++. I read, the C++ Björn
yeah,
Strustrup book, and I really like operator overloading. I overloaded everything. So this was my thing. The first thing I did, I just overloaded everything just for fun. There was no
yes,
reason to do it, but I like overloading. Or the name alone, overloading. I like,
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
overload the operator. So everything was overloaded in my case. I remember I could. There was a matrix multiplications. So the first what I did, two classes and overloaded the multiplications, or I could. So it was overloading everywhere. C in and C out. Great
Yes,
idea that with the you could have the operators C in both
yes.
directions. And the header, I loved the header. The header can be somewhere else, and I can use the header. And in Java had nothing. No overloading, no
And I think
headers.
that got me right away because I did some Turbo Pascal garbage collector kind of thing for
Hmm.
our projects. I did
Hmm.
the same in C++
Hmm.
to remember which objects are alive, which
Hmm.
have to be garbage collected. And first day Java C or Java running Java C and in Java, and I don't have to care about those things.
Yeah.
Perfect. Hey, this is my world. And I knew it was slow,
Hmm.
and it was really, really slow. And IWT was even slower. What
Hmm.
you could do with Delphi. Delphi. I did a lot of Delphi
Hmm.
projects. But getting rid of this mental load
Hmm.
for the infrastructure, that was the point for me to say this is the future. And experience from the last 10, 15 years,
Hmm.
computers are getting faster and faster and faster. And one day we don't care about speed.
Yeah.
We just care about maintenance and doing your business
Hmm.
logic thing.
Hmm.
And that's why I really liked Java in like 96, 97 already.
Yeah. And I also love the distractors in C++. So because
Yeah.
you have to think. So it's like
So
the distractor. But for me, it was like I just used the C++ as a game. I had one commercial project in C++,
mhm.
and they just enjoyed, to on Linux machine back then, because
Yeah.
compiler were very expensive, to use, tweak the editor and just hack something, and just for fun. And I use whatever possible there, right?
Mhm.
And as Java came out, I knew that this is the next thing. Forgot about C++, and but I couldn't. Everyone was excited about. I actually started even with Oak. It was like a
Okay.
pre thing.
That early, yeah.
Yeah, and everyone. This was like 1995, and everyone was like, Java is the new thing, and forget about C++. And I said, okay, then if this is the future, forget about C++. And this is what happened. And I couldn't get the excitement with applets. It's like, why you code a lot, and then at the end of the day you have a jumping Duke in the browser. So I couldn't get the idea why it
Yeah.
is so important. And yeah, I think 1997 I had the first project on the server, and this is where I keep just doing Java projects since
Yeah.
then. And what you said, Java is was slow. The funny thing is, it was I always had the argument Java is slow, and then suddenly in German conferences I heard the argument Java is too fast. Java is low level system language, and therefore they use Groovy and Scala and something different because performance
Yeah,
doesn't
it was
matter.
too fast
Too
again. So
fast. Yeah, I say
we need to
okay.
invent
I
something
had
that
to,
is
I had to fight for the argument. Java is slow, and suddenly Java is too fast but too low level, and
yeah.
therefore we need different languages who are slower with more power. But
Yeah.
this went away. So I would think the
Yeah, yeah.
Scala is almost no more available. I would say this is
This,
a few projects
this
maybe.
merged over time, right? And that's the marvelous thing about the virtual VM.
Hmm.
So this is a computer
Hmm.
which is not changing on the interface side,
Hmm.
not much, but which is changing underneath.
Yeah.
So every metal works with that machine
Hmm.
if somebody writes a adapter for it or an implementation and compiles it. So you can rely on this virtual machine to stay the same as it did 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and will for the next 20 and 30 years.
Okay. What you did actually with Java was the first?
The first thing was writing a game with my friend then, and we cloned Marble Madness. So we have your marble and labyrinth, and you try to collect some coins. And we did it with Java 5. Actually, we did it with Java 3, but it took so long to develop that Java 5 came out. So just a month before the Golden Master, we updated to Java 5, used enums and
2005,
whatnot.
roughly, right?
Yes. And then released it to MediaMarkt and local storage.
No kidding.
No kidding. You could buy a Java game for free platforms by Thomas and me.
So you wrote that you actually wrote a commercial Java game.
Yeah, you can see a playthrough on YouTube.
Wow. You have still the code?
I have still the code. It's lying here like the old C64 code
GitHub,
or the Pascal code. Yes, and I really want to make it run on latest and greatest Java one time. I get time for that.
But I think you can already now publish it on GitHub and
yes, but it should be polished, or somebody should be able to press a button and play the game.
Yeah, or at least
but I'm using the code a moment with my kid to learn Java. So
okay,
it's serving a purpose, and maybe we're gonna have a running Marble Madness iRoll clone. So
I need the link for the YouTube
yes, I will send you the link later on.
And you sold many copies?
Yes, like 5 or 6. So no. It was more like a fun project, and we did it after we finished university for a year. And when we started to design the second game, we said no, we don't earn money with that. So let's do normal standard jobs.
Yeah. So you started immediately in Java to write a game with a friend,
yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And how much time you spend daily?
Yeah, like sometimes 8 to 10 hours.
Wow.
And sometimes like 2 when there's was anything else. So anything between 2 and 8 hours. And we did this for a year. Yeah.
And you like the game? Also, this is a strange question, but sometimes if you write something, I say, okay, it is not that good. So what is your impression?
It was good enough. We had fun playing it.
Okay.
And it was sometimes so hard we couldn't play it on first try. So that was good. And already back then, I was in our 2-man team, the one who's programming or coding the editor. So we had a swing UI where you can place objects and enemies and gates and whatnot. And you could do the same graphics then, which was using the lightweight gaming library, which is now used by Minecraft. It's the same thing. And
what's the name of the library? Sorry,
LWGL.
LWGL.
Yeah, lightweight gaming library, which is under Minecraft. And so we had a Swing UI and a OpenGL binding through this gaming library. So that was great.
So you learned a lot of stuff, right?
Yes. A lot of J and I, but that was taken away from us, basically from this gaming library.
Okay. And performance was a thing, or yet?
Performance was good enough. It was a 2D isometric view, so it was 2.5D. It was basically sprites, animated sprites on several timers. That was not an issue. Even Macs could support it.
Okay. And how you designed the game? So I don't know.
Yeah, we as it was a clone, we just looked how the others did it.
Okay, this is a clone of game. Okay, this
was a clone. Marble Madness was the original game, so we redone or had a polished copy back in the day, so 2004 version of it.
Okay, that's actually a really interesting story. I didn't know about that. So it's cool. And how you approach MediaMarkt or whatever? You went there?
We had a reseller or a person in Frankfurt with a studio who was into making games, and we just met each other someday somewhere. Don't recall where.
On a dark street at night in Frankfurt.
Right.
Yeah.
In the garage, maybe. Train station.
Yeah.
Left side.
Yeah.
tracks, yeah, whatever. So yeah, so he did the publishing thing.
Okay.
Mhm.
Very interesting story. Really interesting. What happened afterwards? So you say no second game. What happened
No
then?
second game. We didn't want our girlfriends back in the days to spend money for us even more.
Mhm.
We had made some game with the publisher from the first game, and when that went to zero, we said stop. And then we went to local companies here in around Bonn,
Mhm.
where I live now still, and we just did some time tracking Java background applications or back
So
office
enterprise stuff.
enterprise stuff. Yes.
Which framework do you use back then? So Java E or?
Yeah, was Java E, was some struts maybe.
Okay.
That's an interesting part. And here again, I was in the tooling side, and I learned about JUnit and how to integrate and parallelize all those tests which were growing like large, and took really a long time to finish or to start even. So I had a local framework which was almost like Jenkins and doing the distribution work. So after we ported that to Jenkins, and which got me into JUnit and later into the JUnit team. So
you are committed in JUnit.
no, part of the team. So we are 5 people still developing and designing JUnit. And
So then you are also committer, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So even better. So you have committer and part of the how to call
We
it?
are 5 people, and all 5 are the committers. Yes. So, or the active ones. Yeah.
They're crazy. So you publish your own game, and now I'm speaking with JUnit committer. So
You do.
there was some drama in JUnit, right? A few years ago, because JUnit 5, because there was not enough resources to release the version 5, right?
Yeah, not enough resources. A project that is used so worldwide by so many people, there should be resources enough from the industry to support that.
Yes.
And there was a lot of interest to make a new version because JUnit 4 was stuck. Based on everybody was poking into it and then using internal private fields. You couldn't even change a name with an underscore in it. Eclipse would fail, just with a null pointer exception for no reason.
Yeah.
The reason was the success of JUnit as a platform was a problem. So for the reinvention, I wasn't part of the team, but the team wanted to have a broad spectrum of test authors, of tool authors, of IDE authors to be on the same table and to make it a real platform. So that if you come up in 10 years with a new idea what a test is, you just write an engine and you plug it on the platform, and then every IDE will support it.
Christian?
Out of the box. Yes?
I will invite you back to talk just about JUnit and JUnit 5.
Well, great. Perfect.
Yeah, have to do. So I didn't know that you are committed. So JUnit 5, I had also some feelings with migration with JUnit 4 to 5 regarding the engines or whatever. So we can actually talk about JUnit 5 features and how companies can better contribute, right? So maybe,
right, that would be perfect.
So
good idea.
Yeah, first that we know what are the unique features of JUnit 5 compared to JUnit 4, how to use it properly. Also interested, and then we can cover the company stuff.
Perfect.
You're crazy. So I'm already curious. We are after half an hour. I just recognize we never met in person, right? Have you met?
Maybe at some conference, maybe Germanland, maybe.
This is amazing that you actually do so many things, and I was not aware that you are somehow working with JUnit.
Promotion is not my best part.
Okay, then I'm waiting for the better parts. No, what? Okay, pretty cool. So you did some boring enterprise stuff, but you got you improved, you built Jenkins like thing, which was migrated to Jenkins, but you became JUnit team member or contributor. And remember back then there was cruise control. It happened before Jenkins, right? Lots of XML. There was conferences. Yeah,
tackling the same problem in a space in another way. And so, yes.
And I remember cruise control was big on every Java conference in Germany. There was a cruise control, and then Jenkins happened in US, and then it took over, right?
Yeah.
Hudson happened.
Hudson, and then
Hudson, then
after the
Jenkins.
renaming,
Exactly.
it was
Yeah. It was
sometimes history is buried under the new names.
Yeah, and the cool story is now the people back then thought like a evil oracle because sometimes they didn't allow to use Jenkins, whatever. And then I delve into it, and what I found out, there was like a missing email or something trivial stuff, which it caused all the drama. Which often there are no big evil companies. Sometimes it's misunderstanding between two people, right? And then the entire community assumes there's like Larry Ellison wanted to destroy Jenkins or Hudson, which is pointless. I mean, he maybe doesn't even know that Hudson or Jenkins existed, I guess. Yeah. Very good. So, I don't even know what to ask now. So what happened after JUnit? I mean, okay, so not after, but you were done with the JUnit project, right?
Because of, my interest in tooling and Java in general, which is still, or even hotter, burning hotter than in the first days, I then looked at the OpenJDK project and did something here and there. And
what exactly? What was your first contribution, or what you did?
I think some jar tool improvement or something that didn't work with the jar tool. I can't remember. I have to look it up. But this is how I got into making all my scripts in Java.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea to have a garbage collector was good 20 years ago. And I used a lot of Ant to do the gaming stuff and do the publishing for different vendors. So we had like different scenes and files and then images, and they all got compiled back into a dedicated distribution. But we did it all in XML. And even then, Ant was capable, but some things I wouldn't have done it in XML or some plugin. I would have wanted to do it on a shell script, and it was batch back then, so it was not so perfect. And what I wanted to do is do that thing in Java. So we have a VM that is working on every machine. We have a dialect or language, which is Java, which works on that machine. So why do I have to learn Bash or BAT or Command Shell or PowerShell or whatnot? And this is a thing that really got me thinking about doing this in Java entirely.
So when was it? Back then? When you started with the idea? So it was like 2010, I guess.
Yeah, maybe that was a bit diffuse back then and was not really coined, but in 2015, I guess. So that's 9 years ago. I was really into, I will do all my scripting in Java from now on. Even if I have to write a program and then compile it somewhere else and reload it. But I really want to see my Java source, which I can read from first sight what's going on. If it's not too much, if it's like a unit test. I want to be my scripting tools to be easy, readable like a unit test.
Really interesting, because around the same time, so interesting. I already had a chat about BLD, the builder, and what happened to me? I use a lot of enterprise project, but in my Java E and Jakarta E world, I always use Maven. And the cool thing with Maven, if you use Glassfish, for instance, or Whiteflower or Jebus or whatever, and you were reasonable, you had a Maven which was 30 lines long or 40 lines long, never longer, no plugins, nothing, and this was a dream. Because you could actually copy a POM, just put artifact, change the artifact ID, and you were done. But I have also my own server, and I needed lots of automation, and I like Java, but the problem with Java is you cannot know enough. So there's this huge knowledge you learn constantly. I'm learning from JDK 1.0, and then still every day I learn new things. Really, it's incredible.
Same for me. Yeah, never stop learning. And you
never stop. But in Java, you think you know something, and then you learn new stuff, right? So I say before I learn Python or Node.js, I have to keep doing Java, just to sharpen my skill, because I think either the others, are so genius that they knew Java completely, then can learn Python completely in their Node.js. I couldn't understand why to use the polyglot stuff. So I say, I have to still stick in Java, because if I do scripting in Java, there are complete different methods than in Jakarta or Java in microprofile, because in my world, there was no reason to use files, read string or whatever. There was no reason to start threads because we had annotations. It was a complete different world. So, okay, then I will use Java for scripting. And recently I did it even more. And what happened then is my basic Java. So I had a basic Java script, but suddenly I needed an external dependency. And then the drama started with Maven. Because if you do it with Maven, you need then the Maven shader to create one single jar. Then you need but what happened is my Maven file from 40 lines of XML became 160, 200. And the Maven was actually longer than the script. And I say, okay, this is not the right approach anymore. We should do something different. And I thought already to introduce my own dependency mechanism, which downloads something, and it is. But I then found BLD, which is also good.
Yes.
And then Nikolai Parlok said, hey, you really have to talk to Christian. And here we are, right? And interesting, similar happened to you with different scale with the game. For me, it was more like toy. But interesting what happened to you. So you've wrote your own Maven-like Java, pure Java builder.
What is Maven Lake is not the real picture I want to paint, because I want to have more or less a script, like a Bash script, where you can read line 1, 2, 3, maybe have a method you can call and have some arguments, and that's it. What shouldn't happen is that you have dependencies, hidden dependencies, which load dependencies, which then downloads the entire internet.
Okay.
To get you a single feature in one jar, which you use, but you don't have, but you have to download like 99% garbage and overhead for that. So what I did was looking at the tools the JDK already gives me.
Very good.
From Java C, jar, Java doc,
Oh,
new versions, JLink, JPackage. And there is an implicit way how you call those single tools in a workflow. So you go from Java files to class files to modular Java files nowadays, and then you have the image.
I see where you're going.
But there's no link or workflow processor in between. And this is something we did a lot, or we do a lot in shell scripts.
Agreed.
This is done. This is just what Ant does.
Or lifecycle in Maven, right? So where Maven
does the same with phases and plugins and what you have now. But they all agree on something in between, mainly files on the disk. And if it was easy for me in my language I love, Java, to write those glue code, then I would use it.
Yeah.
And external dependencies is something part of the problem, and to get it if I need it. But the first step for me is to really make Java shine on a level where a shell script is. So it's so easy, should work on every VM on the JDK it was written for, and later maybe if you're using syntax that works for it. And it's just have your JDK installed by SDKman, by downloading it, by extracting it, and then you're clear to go. That's the thing I'm still working on since 9 years now, or 3.
Okay, and this makes even more sense. So what you remember Sun Microsystems, right?
Yes, I do.
Exactly. And I really like the company, and what I also like the ideas. And the idea was like, we have like a standards, and if we agree on the standards, this is a good thing. So this was the common mantra, right? So, and for me, the first standard was Java. So, okay, if I start with Java, then just pick Java first and forget everything else. So if this is not enough, then, reach to other dependencies of functionality. This was my mantra, and Jakarta was the same, and microprofile, and now it's absolutely the same. Yeah. What I like in your approach that you emphasize, okay, let's use Java tools first and write just a glue code, like a process engine, like a pipeline, maybe a pipe, right? Which calls Java C, then you get a bytecode, then you can jar, which creates a jar, then you can JLink, you have something executable, and the end, it's called the mod thing, to get the modules. And and I really like it. So now the question is, can we use it? Has it a name, or
It's just a Java program. It's not.
where is it?
Where is it? It's in my head. No, I'm writing down those ideas for years in a project called Bach. It's a acronym going into just J Shell Builder. It was the first name, so it sounds like Bash but with a C.
Mhm.
And I'm just
You
rewriting.
should call it
again.
Sebastian, Just
Yeah, Johann Sebastian Bach.
Yeah.
J Shell Builder. .sb.
Mhm.
Here we go.
A J shell even better. So you
Yes,
forgot
you
about
can-
the J shell. Mhm.
Yes, you can launch it with J Shell. You can get it with J Shell. You don't need Git or curl or something. You could use those tools, but you shouldn't have to.
A J shell is even cooler. I forgot. Yeah, exactly. If you use J shell, you have the
can
entire
do the
scripting.
installation for you, and you can explore your project with that.
Mhm.
So this is going to be all integrated, JDK only, zero dependencies, kind of experience.
Mhm.
But I'm still working on it, so it's still in the clouds somewhere.
But crazy, because I like the idea from Hert Bevin, but he doesn't use the J shell, right? So he wrote but this is actually more consequential, because you say I pick everything from JDK.
Yes.
Which I like a bit better, but he won't listen to.
And another thing, if you only use JDK tools,
Mhm.
you have plain Java.
You don't have to install anything. You download Java and you're ready to go.
Every IDE that can set up a freestyle project can support your build program. It's just a Java program.
Yeah.
You can debug it right away.
No, I mean the big thing is
you can see the process.
Yeah, but this is advanced stuff. What I really don't like, if you would a Java starter, and you would like to do something with Java, you have to download Java and then Maven or whatever, and then you lost interest. Yes. But if you say, I download Java and I'm ready to start, and this is not a toy, I can use it later, this is a big selling point.
My goal is, and this is not too far away in the stars, if you have Java installed and you have done the initial Bach init thing, whatever this is going to be, that you then have just to call Java @build, and that's it. And you get all the way from Java sources to a self-contained package.
I would say this is maybe one of the most important projects right now, which should happen with Java. No kidding, because this is completely missing in Java ecosystem. And I think the Java developers are not aware of it, because we have no project for years. Everything is working. But the starters, they are maybe overwhelmed. I see the questions I get. Should you use Maven or Gradle, or what's the deal? And the answer should be, you don't need anything. Just start with plain Java.
Exactly.
And then you can decide.
For experience or for really difficult stuff, and the reality is difficult.
Yeah.
Multi-layered and whatnot. But if you start to learn Java, or you have a simple project, the JDK has almost all we need to do this.
Yes.
Just need some really clever clue to bind it all together.
And from marketing perspective, for Java will be also great, because you can show all the tooling in Java in one talk. No kidding, yeah. You can say,
and like you said, never stop learning.
Yeah.
The tools in the JDK are here to get used and to maybe scratch on the surface and see what is Java C doing with my imports. Most build tools try to hide that.
Exactly. I heard the opinion several times.
I'm thinking of will show you the exact command line. You can copy it, paste it on your shell, tweak it, put it back in your Java program, and then you have your configured project.
What I already thought is even crazier. If you do it in plain Java, you can consider the build tool as part of the app. So
which app?
Let's say I'm creating an application, command line application, right? So I'm writing an hello world, which prints hello world to system out println, and this is my killer app, right? So now what I could do, I could use your Bach tooling, because it ships with Java, and say, hey, Bach, compile yourself. It doesn't ship
with Java, but you can today do a Git submodule on my sources and integrate it into your app, and your app is self-fulfilled with the build tool already.
Yes, this is what I thought about.
Yes, it's possible today.
And the next thing is, of course,
this is how I'm developing it.
You could even do without compiling in Java 22. This would be the next step.
You know what I integrated into Java 22? because I'm part of the Oracle Java platform.
I forgot to ask you when you joined
Sure.
Oracle and how you joined Oracle.
2 years ago, it was an interesting process, and I'm here, and I'm here to stay. So it's really, really good and really
Yeah,
fun.
but how you got it? Just because of a commitment to JDK, or
Yeah, JDK, JUnit,
and then you get question, it's open
yes,
position. Could you join us? And for
yes.
which department are you working in Oracle?
Language tools. So
Wow, pretty
this is
cool.
exactly what I was searching for, and this is great to be
Hey,
here.
for a Java developer who likes Java, this is heaven. Oracle right now.
Nothing to add.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So what you did? I interrupted you. Okay, you are an Oracle employee for since 2 years, and you are working.
What I was about to tell, or to ask you what I added, or what we added into JDK 22. It's a multi-file source code launcher.
Exactly, multi-source. Exactly.
Yeah, and now we check out your project, your Hello World killer application, including the script, and then just add Java and your build program.java, and it just works.
Yeah.
And the build file just compiles itself into memory, compiles your program, creates a modular Java file, and here you go.
This is magical. What I did on my YouTube.
No, it's not magic. It's just
but for me,
it's combining existing tools we have,
Yeah.
improve the tools we have, and combine them into one workflow, one build process.
Yeah, but the experience is magical. So what I did,
I hope so. Yeah.
I used the org.json library. Had to use it in a project, and AWS uses it a lot. And I took a look. This is an interesting one, and I check it out, and it turns out you can compile the entire library with Java C. So you can see, Java C star, and it's compiled. It's like, this is amazing. This is really, in rare cases, we have such a thing. And I launched Java 22 program inside the library just for fun. Yeah. And it worked. It's like, this is amazing, magical experience, because you say Java, your program, and it found all the dependencies from the entire library and just launched it, and it worked. How it should be.
Right. And it will. I'm very confident that it will, and that we maybe soon have, for our simple or complex projects or advanced project that still feel simple, to be self-contained and self-sustainable just by using JDK tools.
Hey, best possible news, because you can count on me as your cheerleader, or whatever we call it. I will
beta tester. I need beta
tester with and I will record numerous videos or whatever to promote the idea, or even talk at conferences.
JUnit 1, right?
Whatever you like. But this is great news. So we have already something, and you're using this properly internally, right? Already.
Yeah. The examples are online. I can send you a link too.
And we could use it as well, right? So it's not like NDA.
Yes, it's open source.
Very good. So I could actually try it right now and see what happens. And by the way, I recorded also videos with the builder just for fun. It's like, okay, I just use it and see what happens. And I only got positive responses. So it seems like there's huge.
Builder is solving a similar problem, or the same problem in the same space, in a different way.
Yeah.
But in a Maven way.
Yeah.
And I say this with a but, because it's trying to just replace, in quotes, the XML part.
Yes.
And one step further away is taking the existing parts, which are there for 30 years, and making them public and combined together.
Yes. But nonetheless, I never got a negative response. I expected people.
Perfect.
Yeah, people like it. So I mean, people will also like your stuff. So this is what was the feedback with it.
Yes.
I'm pretty confident, and if it comes from Java source, which is Oracle now, and back then was Sun. So for me, it's a special meaning, because I say, okay, I can rely on it a bit more, because this is part of the platform, which is always a good thing. But how you deal with external dependencies? Sometimes I will need Maven dependency.
Yeah, that's an interesting question, and many build tools tackle this in a different way, and trying to solve and resolve, and magically doing some comparison or best fit, first mentioned way of things. My best resolver is between my ears. First, do I need this dependency? Does it introduce 4 levels or 5 levels of secondary dependencies? Do I really need it now, if I don't know the ownership, or I have to maintain it? So third question is, do I really need it? So I want to defer it
Yes.
to an external tool, maybe, because JDK doesn't support it yet. So my build tool, in quotes, which is not a build tool, which is just the glue between the tools we have, doesn't exist. So let's invent a new tool, or let's use Maven or Gradle as a tool to resolve the external dependencies.
Mm-hmm.
So I want my thing to be as stupid as possible.
Okay, but what you could do, you could introduce like dependency resolver or downloader, which is pluggable, and you can say
Yes.
whatever you can use Vagon from Maven or whatever. But
or JResolver from Ethan or some other project.
Yeah.
Like you can build or some Groovy comments to resolve your dependencies. You can even have a properties files where I download the jar files, which you mentioned there with checksums and signatures and whatnot.
Yeah, it should be pluggable. So you have to foresee the dependency resolution, and this pluggable is fine. But I can immediately give you an example, because what I need is AWS SDK, and I need it, right? Or Oracle JDBC driver. So I mean, I need it, and
of course,
yeah,
it's part of the problem, right?
Yeah.
But it's not something a build tool should solve, in my opinion.
But I think even Maven is pluggable.
Pardon me.
No problem.
By hard coding it should be pluggable.
Yeah,
and that's it.
But I think in Maven is also pluggable, I guess. But as you know, you have to provide lots of stuff to make it really pluggable. But so I would say Maven. This is more like, the question is, should it be conventional or not?
Part of it, yes. Mm-hmm. I like my projects best when I see all my dependencies in the local lib file.
Yeah, for me as well. I mean, this is without a question.
There are jar files in it, I can understand it. There are 50s in it, I get stomach.
Yeah.
500 jar files in my lib directory, and I'm not touching that.
I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you.
That's set in stone. If it works, I will launch it. If it doesn't work, I will start from new and remove dependencies. So something that populates my lib directory works for me.
I'm reviewing a project right now, a commercial project, and today morning I stopped, and they used Google Common Base to get a stopwatch. And I say, why the hell are you using stopwatch? I mean, in Java, we have 30 possibilities to use it. I know, I get you. But sometimes you need a dependency because it comes with commercial support or whatever. So you just have to pick it, right? And you have to pick whatever they give you. And best case is Oracle. You can download the JDBC driver from Maven with specific, I don't know what it was. Now it's open. Back then you had to have a own repository. But you have to do something. So therefore, it has to be pluggable. So there are cases where you need it, and then it has to be pluggable, right?
Yeah. And then your build tool will work tomorrow and the year after, because it's your plugin that... And it shouldn't be a plugin. It should be a simple tool, having a CLI interface to work with. And to
a jar. It should be a jar which downloads the jars, right?
Here we go. And it should provide implement tool provider, which was introduced in Java 9.
Exactly. So you're far. Okay.
So you don't need to launch another VM. Every 9 or 8 JDK tools, where it makes sense, implement this interface, and they can run on the JVM without restarting.
This is actually cool, because then a new ecosystem can happen. So they can wrap,
Exactly. You can use tools from the 80s.
Yeah.
They will work. The jar file, JUnit 3 will work on this build tool. There's no plugin code you have to write.
Yeah. Perfect. Even better than I suspected. So of course you are the part of the team. So this is a consistent strategy, what I like, or consistent vision. So this is how we do it. Just standard.
It's a vision till now, and we are working on the parts, making little steps, not baby steps, but little steps and thoughtful steps into a direction where the experience, especially the on-ramp experience, will grow and be smoother.
And this could become an official OpenJDK project, and if we are lucky, it could
be. Yes.
It could be even part of the OpenJDK. I mean, this is, we have to present the safe harbor statement right now, but I mean, this could happen, right? And this would be a great thing.
Happen. This is right.
Yeah, pretty cool. I mean, and what to tell? So you could, at the end, even natively compile it. You can completely, integrate Project Laden or whatever interesting is there, right? So with optimizations and
just a tool.
Just a tool, but it is a tool which you can program in Java. Yeah. So you can even, perform crazy things like during the build. You can even test, which Laden configuration is the best. and then learn from it and package, the best thing. So it would be, yeah.
And like you said, I like my build program best when it's 30 lines.
Yeah.
Like in the old days, XML without plugins.
Yeah.
30
this
lines,
was
that's it.
maybe was my friend, and I never understood why someone needs Gradle or some. Yeah, but they need the program. It's like, I never program. Leave me alone. But but now it changes, and
It changes, but be aware you have the full power of your Java ecosystem and your language. So you can create build programs like shell scripts, which are using operator overloading, whatever you want to have. Injection can add third-party dependencies to your build program, but you don't have to. You can.
Yeah, and Java.
Somebody will create a project which is using a non-understandable build file.
Maybe a final note, because so I have a YouTube channel with lots of shorts. So what I do, from time to time, actually daily, meanwhile. So there are small snippets like how to read, string file with Java. So it's files, read string, and you're done basically. And if I see something in my projects, okay, I will record a snippet, because people say, no, Java is not is as bloated, and this is not true at all. There are already 500 shorts. Everyone is shorter than a minute, and this is, 3-liner, and you can achieve a lot, right?
Yeah.
So, and this was my motivation. But what I got some comments like, why you call JavaScript Java? So people assume this is Node because it look var, and they say, okay, this is just scripting. Why you call it Java? It's like, no, this is proper Java. What I'm doing, this is not a scripting language, which was the best possible comment, right? So,
right.
And what's missing really? Because what I always do, I use Java, no Java C, so I can run, Java app.java, and it just launches and compiles behind the scenes. So it's very fast. But in my projects, I still have some Maven because of the one dependency. And your tool will be full cycle, because I can use something from OpenJDK, which could become part of the JDK later, and this is the best possible news.
Yeah, working on it day by day.
Very good. So we have to stop here. So they have work even more today to complete the tool. So
of course,
where people can find you on the internet or yeah.
I go with my old role-playing game Zomuras. So on every GitHub, Twitter, Mastodon. So Zomuras GitHub.io is a good starting point.
Thank you. And I will add everything else to the show notes for the listeners. Was a great talk, and you are invited at least once, actually at least twice, because JUnit. And then at the end, if the Bach is done, I have to talk with you, and I will take a look, and I'm really interested.
Looking forward to that, Adam. Great to be here.
Bye.
Bye.